If there was one thing you wish men understood about women, what would that be?
I am not a sexual object.
Well, if women objectify themselves, then why do you think men should not objectify them?
That means you can't like look at every person as the same. You know what I'm saying? Just because a woman dresses, or one woman may objectify themselves and another woman may imitate that style of dress or that style of demeanor, that doesn't mean that every other woman is that same exact way, if that makes sense.
Empathy.
Do you feel like women are better at empathy than men are?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. I think maybe we're born and bred with it. Maybe raised into it a little more.
What makes a person empathetic?
What makes a person empathetic? Well, you know, that whole like nurture versus nature situation. Well, I think if you're raised in a more empathetic environment, then you'll have a little bit more empathy.
I don't think that I could narrow that down to like one thing. That we're really not that complicated.
Do you find it easy to like know what you want to eat?
What I want to eat?
Yes.
No.
What are the characteristics of a gentleman?
Someone like opening the door for you.
Oh, okay.
It's like can be something that simple.
A characteristic of a gentleman is how your mother should have raised you. The same way that you open the door for your mother, your grandmother. It doesn't necessarily mean it's more so like platonic based to me. I was raised with my father and my brothers and my uncles. So when I think of a gentleman, I expect every man to treat me with that same respect. Whether you just be nice and kind without the expectation of anything other than I'm just being a man. If an elderly woman walks by, open the door for her. If a young woman has children and she's carrying her grocery bags, offer assistance. But it's hard though, because these days you can't even be a gentleman because the women are kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
they don't,
for sure.
We don't really want the help.
So do you think men, as far as parenting, do you think it plays a role as far as men and women showing what their child, being a woman or a boy or a girl, has anything to do with showing a man how to be a gentleman?
Absolutely, and yes and no, because it takes society to show. The people say like, okay, it takes a man to show a man how to be a man. However, I do and have seen women who have raised strong black men, strong white men, strong Hispanic men. Definitely, there is a role that plays a part that a man has to be present in order for a younger man, to understand the proper roles of masculinity. So if you're a woman raising a young man, that child is mostly going to have hypermasculinity based on the fact that a woman's perceived notation of what a man is supposed to do is not actual fact. That's my feelings and my emotions that I feel like a man should do this, versus a man saying, okay, you get up every day, you take care of your family, you eat right, you watch over your kids, you look at your neighbor's kids, you watch your neighborhood. So people like have it kind of fucked up on what it's supposed to be.
What are the characteristics of a gentleman?
You know what? If you meet a gentleman, it has nothing to do with their money or their looks. It depends on how they make you feel. Do they make you feel safe? Like, are you safe to be around them?
How do you feel like the whole women being more as, independent women and masculine, do you feel like that's a problem in society because they're not being as soft, not being as gentle as they should be? Or
a lot of them have issues with their mother. A lot of them didn't have the nurturing from their moms to teach them softness, or didn't have the respect on, like back in the day. I think about my grandmother. My grandmother ran everything, but she never raised her voice. She was never out in the street doing XYZ. All the men that she was married to, all the men that were in my life, they all played a certain role. I think that even as women, we have a poor misconception on men too.
Do you think, because it's a lot of single mothers going on, do you think children are better raised by single fathers or single women?
For stability purposes, I must say single fathers. I feel like right now society definitely needs to take back like the unity of our people versus, okay, there's masculine, there's feminine, there's the man, there's the woman, and everybody equally need respect. There's not a woman that is better than a man that can raise a child. Yes, a child need both parents, honestly, or they need both parent figures.
Thanks.
But at the end of the day, I don't feel like a woman is better off to raise a child by herself, and I don't feel like a man is better off. But I've seen, I don't know, I'm 33 years old, and in my generation, all the fathers that I know, they step.
Do you think men and women could be platonic friends?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you think so?
Absolutely.
Do you think?
Like men and women could be plutonic friends?
Yeah, just ask it, because it's a question that, you know.
He might be madly in love with you, but
Hmm.
like she's my girl best friend. I can't like let her know I'm like feeling her. I just have to be there for her just in
Hmm.
case that guy doesn't work out for her. But he might be. I mean, it's not impossible. Do you think men and women can just be plutonic friends?
100%. Absolutely.
So you don't think like men are trying to gain anything out of you guys?
I think that can be a thing, but I don't think that's always someone's motive.
So if you call your guy best friend up and you say, "Hey, lonely tonight. You want to hook up with me?"
They might come cuddle with me, but maybe
Or
could
sit
still
on the
be
couch.
totally like innocent.
Oh, okay, okay.
But if I had a boyfriend, I wouldn't do that.
So then it's like we'll get into like that. Yes, men and women can be platonic, but it's also like an important thing to also like speak on. I feel like we could be friends, and if it's a conversation of sex ever comes up, we should be adults enough to express it. Like I have a lot of male friends, and I ain't gonna lie, if they ever came at me sexually, they never have came at me sexually, but I know that natural primal energy, that's a different thing. It's like we were really put on this earth to procreate. So it's natural for a man to be around a woman and feel aroused and vice versa. However, that doesn't mean that's like the whole trajectory of the relationship.
What would y'all rate yourselves from 1 to 10?
10.
You have to rate myself?
What do you mean? 10.
Are men or women better at self-improving?
I think equally. Depends on the person.
Okay. What would you rate yourself from 1 to 10?
In terms of what aspect?
Just beauty.
Beauty, I'll give myself a 10.
Are men or women better at self-improving?
Neither.
Depends on who you are.
So if most women rate themselves as 10, how do they improve? What is above a 10?
Well, because a 10 doesn't necessarily mean you don't have any room for improvement on something, but you should be confident in yourself, right?
And most definitely. But if I
And
said
you should continue to strive and educate yourself, move forward in life.
So I give myself a 9.9, so I'm like a little.
And is there a point that you
Good.
sit back and say, like, all right, I'm successful and I'm not going to continue to improve
Right.
myself in life, you know?
most women would rate themselves 8 or 10, and when I ask guys, it's more so they're kind of a little more logical because I feel like they a little more realistic.
But if you're
So-
asking a man in terms of looks, most men, unless it's like it's a light skin factor for me. I've met light skinned niggas that will be on this pretty boy shit.
Oh,
but if
yeah.
I ask a man that's in a different, darker complexion, they're probably not going to look too much about their looks. They're going to think about their work ethic. They're going to think about their capability. They're going to think about their ability to make money, their ability to keep money, their ability to run the shit that's around them. I got some sisters that have to have a spouse in order for them to feel motivated and to do the things that they need to do.
Mhm.
Same thing with my brothers. And I have some siblings that fucking man or nigga, I'm finna go to work.
Yeah.
I gotta pay these bills. I have a brother that likes to spend money on strippers. He goes to work particularly just to spend money on the strippers. That is his okay.
That's his thing.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
But he finances his own habit. Whereas I have a sister who is extremely talented, can do anything, but she loses interest quickly. Her interest is only based on the relationship that she's in, as how much she's developed in a relationship. So if her man is supporting her or she's feeling like she's being loved properly, that bitch gonna go get it. You understand me? She gonna make it for her, him, and everybody else. But as soon as the relationship goes down or she gets too emotionally involved, she stops working, she gets depressed, she goes through these periods of stages. So I'm gonna take my question back. Men are better at self-improvement than women because we are emotionally everybody's emotional, but us as women, we do attach ourselves to motivation based on our surrounding support system.
Why do women typically go for bad boys?
Because they're way more fun. So, see, there's a different line. Then you find, like, the super, like, controlling one.
Mhm.
Okay? So, yeah, they're just as fun. But they also want to know what you're doing, this, and this.
So
The sex is usually better,
The
but
sex
you want to
is
fix
always
somebody,
better.
and you think that you can fix somebody, but you can't.
It's the thrill.
Yeah.
You know, the same reason I can ask, why do men go for hoes? The one that's gonna give it up on the first night.
if most women know that a bad boy is typically a bad fit for a long-term relationship, why do they usually choose them?
I think sometimes you just can't help who
Or is
you're
it-
attracted to or you just kind of
Are
fall
y'all
into a
going through like a
situation.
bad boy phase?
Me,
No.
I did for like 7 years
Yeah.
with a really shitty boyfriend.
Oh no, I went through my bad boy phase.
But
Is it easy to change like the bad
No.
boy?
No,
Or do
it
they
doesn't
ever
happen.
change?
Bad boy, you leave him.
Oh.
But
Oh.
you occasionally sleep with him.
If they know the bad boys are usually a bad bet for a long-term relationship, why do they still?
It's something that
you know,
it's
fuck with
something
them?
in your mind. We always want something that we're not. You don't know until the stove. You touch the stove, it's hot.
Do you feel like the guys who are looked over as far as like the good guys should give the girls who were into the bad boy a chance after they kind of hit the proverbial wall?
Every man is different. Like, okay, so a parent bad guy, like I say, was like the thug, the nigga that's selling drugs, the man that's doing XYZ. I know white collar men that are horrible, straight abusive. They're narcissistic as hell. So when you say a good guy and a bad guy, you got to give me your definition on that.
Like, okay, in the white community, they're Chads and Brads, the guys who just fuck and they're handsome and all this shit.
Right.
But they're most likely toxic. And we have, in our culture, the Pookies and Ray Rays, the one who will rob a liquor store or some shit just to get the bags or, what I'm saying, feel like that guy.
As far as like men go, a misogynist is a misogynist, no matter how it's dressed up, no matter what his name is, what the degree is. So it doesn't matter. Like, a bad guy don't necessarily mean a man that's thugging. People can thug in a whole bunch of different ways.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, girls don't like the lames. They kind of do want to be treated bad. A guy, they've never had nobody really give them any. A woman who has never had a man love her, and I'm talking about from dads and uncles and brothers. If you've been mistreated by men your entire life, you're going to expect a certain thing. So if you talk to a woman and you open the door for her, she's like, this nigga doing too much.
Right.
What is he doing?
He's too nice.
Trying to show you a little bit of chivalry, bitch. Do you not? I'm sorry. I kind of talk a lot of shit too. But that's how it goes. I see it all the time. Like, my brothers, when they bring girls around me, they're gentlemen, but they'll smack them down too. You know what I'm saying? They'll be so attracted to how fast the money was spent on woo woo woo. But you get out of line, you have to know your place. And that's how my brother's mind frame is. You got to know your place. Then I know some cousins that would never. Their girlfriends and wives run clean over them, and we be at the dinner table. You ain't gonna choke her. You ain't gonna grab her real quick, cause she out of bounds. She gotta shut up sometimes.
Why do you think men cheat?
Why do men cheat? Because they're insecure.
Well, if men cheat because they're insecure, do you feel like it's nothing that the woman could have done to make him feel like, hey?
Because above all things, if you're unhappy with someone, you fucking break up with them. You fucking end it, and you go and fuck everyone you please.
Why do men cheat?
Because they're not allowed to be men.
What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
I don't know. Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. Fucking everybody, all rich people,
Because
ugly people get cheated on.
honestly,
I think it's just a thing. Like, you're
no,
either
it
not
is not a
satisfied.
thing.
Yeah,
It
right.
is not.
No,
It is not.
Not
It
like
is
a
not.
good thing.
Wait, her first.
It
What do
is-
you think after that?
It is because women put men into a box.
Right.
Okay. So you want this man to be this person for you that is this greatest person that has the ultimate sex drive, the greatest man, the biggest gentleman, just does the best at work, pulls in all the females but tells them no.
If women are in a marriage with a man and it's no prenuptial agreement and he's like, man, I'm gonna have to go under the radar because, you know what I'm saying, if I do divorce her, she might take half of my shit. So I have to kind of be like, you know what I'm saying.
Well, then he married the wrong woman.
You think that as a human, because that is what he is, he's not supposed to desire other things.
Right.
Women desire other things. So I think that you should also not put a man into this box, so it called. If you allow a man to be a man, I don't think he would typically tend to cheat.
Okay, what about you?
I just think that some people are unsatisfied sometimes and they reach out to other people for either emotional or physical satisfaction.
Why do you feel like women cheat? If they were ever to cheat.
Same thing. Yeah. I mean, insecurity. It's the same shit. It's literally no different between the sexes. You're lacking something within yourself.
Well, most of the time when men cheat, it's more so of a want
Like
to feel it
physical.
at physical aspect, and women cheat more so from an emotional basis. Men
Like,
can literally go fuck a chick and do all this stuff, but
sorry, one sec.
he knows that, well, she has my kids, she cooks for me, she cleans for me, she does all these other things for me. I'm just getting a feeling type stuff. If men are biologically wired to not want the same things over a long period of time, why do most women go against that and fight it?
I can't speak from my point of view because I don't think like that.
Yeah.
Once I find the one that I'm really with, I'm like, yeah, like you're the one I'm fucking with, and that's it. As far as men goes, seriously, I really think it all comes down to insecurity, and you can talk it all down to biology or like a man might think they need multiple partners to be happy, but you know, it's a certain kind of man. So you have two different kind of men. One man thinks like, oh, I need a maid. I need someone that can cook, clean, take care of the children, be my mama, basically. But then you have the other spectrum of man who is happy with his partner, where the happiness comes from, in my opinion. And I don't know, man.
So do you feel like men are going against their biological nature by just saying, okay, I'm going to try, basically? Well, yeah, but basically saying, okay, I'm going to try to be faithful to this woman, but my urges and just being a man, like I'm a visual creature.
Human nature is going against everything biologically by putting us all into a box and choosing monogamy.
Why do you think women cheat?
The truth.
The lack of satisfaction emotionally or physically, both. It goes both ways, because I think cheating can be like emotional and physical.
Why do women cheat?
Why do women cheat?
Right.
Because animals are not supposed to be monogamous.
So you put us
Do you
in the
think
animal?
cats are monogamous? Bears? Okay, so
Some
like, what
animals
makes
are.
penguins? I mean, they're cold as fuck, man.
Yeah. So you think
not many animals are monogamous? If you think about it, humans are.
Animals don't also have sex for pleasure. That's just
Very true.
So would y'all lean more towards monogamy or polygamy?
it just
So if a man was like super high value, he like multi-millionaire, he said, babe, I love you.
so I got
But
a sugar daddy, but he got multiple sugar babies.
Well, he's not a sugar daddy, but he has like.
Polygamy.
What do you think about zodiac signs?
I don't know. It's fun. I don't take it too seriously, but I think there might be something in it.
Do you feel like, in your everyday life, zodiacs can help you? You know, if you're trying to make $1 million, if you're trying to get the guy you want, do you feel like zodiacs can kind of like be that filler for you to get exactly what you're trying to get?
So, have you ever looked at your horoscope for the day?
No, but when I talk about zodiac signs with people, they always give me the answers as far as like what's mine and that.
Yeah, so there's people that look really very much into like, oh, you're a Virgo, I don't fucking like you. You know, that kind of shit. But then, you open up your whatever app you fucking have to look at your zodiac sign. They'll tell you like, oh, hey, Gemini, that's what I am. Oh, hey, Gemini, today you need to fucking avoid drinking.
Right.
It's like, okay, sure, I'll
Right.
avoid drinking today. And sometimes there's some good advice in it, but all in all, I don't fucking care about it.
What do you all think about zodiac signs?
I like it. I'm a Libra.
Oh,
Oh
my God.
That's what I said.
Well, I brought my Libra guy and my zodiac guy, so y'all probably could talk.
I'm a Libra.
I think sometimes anything that
She's
you
a
say
Virgo,
can be.
it's
I'm not. I'm a Cancer.
She's a Cancer,
but I
even
think
more.
sometimes anything can be applicable to you depending on how you word it. So.
Do you think overall in life does it get
But
you?
Aquariuses are crazy.
Do you think it gets you where you need to be as far as like if you was like
My
okay,
zodiac sign?
yeah, basically if you was like if I follow my zodiac sign, I'm going to be like a billionaire.
No, it's
No.
definitely something that gives you hope. It could be almost, I mean, anything gives people hope.
Do you feel like sex workers or anybody in the adult film industry are just in
I don't answer that question because I'm gonna be a future porn director because I have a different
Oh,
trajectory
God.
on how I feel about sex. So that's a whole nother topic.
You feel like the people who actually do that should be like offended? Because if I was like a baseball player who sucked, should I be upset that people call me a sucky baseball player?
That feels like, I don't know, a person, if whatever you're gonna do, my mom used to tell me, whatever you're gonna do, be a good one. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you put yourself in that limelight and that is your profession, what somebody tells you, okay, a person can call you a hoe, or is that gonna stop you from making your money? Probably not. They knew that came with the territory.